What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday and daylight savings time and all that stuff. Some people hate it. I normally do when it doesn't benefit me, but I got my kids to school on time, got some extra sleep. So this part of it, I don't mind, but I know a lot of people don't give a shit what I think. How's everybody doing, man? I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And we got some stuff to talk about. Marvel's comes out this week. Some tracking stuff says it's tracking lower than Black Adam and the Flash, which it didn't break even. Didn't even Flash was a damn failure financially. So that's not good news. That is not good news for the Marvels. However, the question is, some movies have defied the tracking gods, if you will, and had a comeback and been better in the box office than people thought. Could the Marvels be one of them, or is it over? They just got to move on, because Loki has been delivering. The finale is coming up. It airs, I think, on the same day that the Marvels actually comes out, on that Thursday. And then the Echo trailer was pretty damn impressive. So could they kind of carry into 2024 and say, look, yeah, we're shaking off what we had with the Marvels. We're going to try to make some money, at least to put some money back in the bank account. We understand what we're going to do. We're making it a shorter movie to try to get more screenings in there to get some more money. And I don't know, is that just kind of going to be the end of it? We'll talk about that. I mentioned Black Adam, I mentioned the Flash, and obviously DC has been reeling from the past movies. But with the new movies coming up, there was rumors that there might be some delays. James Gunn goes, no delays right now. And that's also kind of carrying into the SAG deal. Are we gonna find something out today, tomorrow? The studio gave their final offer, is what they say. This is our final offer, our best and final offer. SAG said, okay, we're not gonna go back to the tables tomorrow. We're gonna look at this final offer and we'll come back and tell you guys what we think. And I think we'll hear about that either today or tomorrow. I watched Gen V, finished the whole thing. I won't spoil anything. I'll just kind of give my non-spoiler thoughts on that. And Dune, the TV show. The TV show has a title, I think. So we'll talk about that also. There's a lot of things to talk about today. So if you didn't already do it, man, subscribe to the channel. We are, I think, it's something like 1,400 away from 100,000. It's been something that I'm working on for this channel since I started over again, and we're almost there. So we hope that you guys will join us if that's the case. A few other things we'll talk about that we got coming up, but let's get to it, man. It's the big thing. It is Monday. It is November 6th. So let's do it. All right. Big thing, me and you. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to The Big Thing with me, Kristian Harloff, on this live episode of The Big Thing. We're doing these on Mondays, and I've kind of enjoyed them. I'm not going to lie to you. It was tough and grueling and kind of put me off to live shows when I was doing them every single day, and I was committed to them every single day when I was doing Collider Live or when I was doing SEN, and it's tough. It's a grueling thing. And God bless everybody who does it 5 days a week. It's very hard to do. So I said, for a long time, I don't know if I'm going to do them, but I've been doing them on Mondays, and it kind of fits in with, I want to give people kind of different things for the week when it comes to The Big Thing, obviously. So Monday's kind of like the live show, and there'll be times when I'm not going to be able to do it, but Monday's been the live show. Tuesday's the UAP show. Wednesday is when there's Star Wars stuff to talk about, it's the Star Wars stuff, but you're always going to get Mike when he's available and Steph when she's able to come back. Thursday is going to be Roxy when she comes back, and Brett, obviously. And then Friday is going to be the Winston, myself, and Coy. So there's always things kind of switching up, and you know when to get it. And I want to make sure I gave you guys that consistency. Speaking of that entire crew, because we're going to have guests and stuff too. We had Perry on last week. We had Chris Carr. Jen Sturger's coming back on this week. And we'll have more guests that keep coming on as we get closer and closer. Once the strike is over, we'll hopefully have more people. But I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been talking to you guys about this. I don't know how many of these we're going to do, right? How many live shows we're going to do. And I know not everybody lives in Los Angeles, but if you can get there, at Flappers. This is like we did one in the beginning of the year. We did one in New York. This will definitely. I can't tell you when we're going to do it again, but I know what I did know for you can get tickets. The links will be in the description soon. But you just go to Flappers website and you can get it there. But if you're watching on the replay, it'll already be in the description. But what I do know is that the two shows that we did, and in my opinion, what I heard back from the audience was that both shows, the New York show and the LA show, people seem to have more fun in the stand-up comedy portion of it than it's not that they didn't have any. We had some fun with the live, Sith Council and capes and all that, and the other things that we did, the conversation, the Q&A, and when we were Double Toasted and in New York and did all that was a lot of fun. But it just seemed like there was a particular vibe with the comedy show. It was a little more wild and crazy that I kind of am going for. So I think that's what we're doing for this one to see if it works. We'll probably do a Q&A afterwards, but not like the kind of like a big long show. But it's going to be stand-up comedy. It's going to be a lot of people on the bill. I mean, myself and Coy and Winston and Brett and Kate and Roxy's going to be hosting it. Mike Kalinowski will do a 5-minute set if we can get to 600 the paid patrons by the time it rolls around. But Chris Carr is also coming on to do a set. It's going to be a fun show. So if you're able to get there, please come on and do that. I'm going to do all my topics today. And the way that usually the live shows work for you guys is that I already saw somebody put in a super chat even before the show started. Thank you. You can put in your chats now. I will get to them. I will make sure that I get to them even if the show goes over. It's what I do for every single show. So if you want to ask anything, it doesn't have to necessarily be about pop culture. It doesn't have to necessarily be about movies or TV, all that stuff too. You can do whatever you want. You can throw it in there. I will collect all of them. And then by the time we get to the end of the show, we'll go over it and we'll talk about it. So feel free to whatever you want to do. You can keep me on for as long as possible. I mean, it would be a blessed thing if you guys kept me on till 5 o'clock, but I don't think so. That's what I'm recording with Riley today for the UAP show tomorrow. All right. So let's get to the first story is what we talked about. I'll even give you a thumbnail there. Here we go. Come on, thumbnail. Be nice. Thumbnail's not even popping up. What the hell's going on over here? My screenshots aren't working now. What the fuck is this? Just had that. Oh, you stupid idiot. Wait. Hold on. Why isn't this working? I don't know why I said this was working. No, and then that's not even working. I don't understand. It was working fine. How about this? And now that's not working. So look at this. It's unbelievable. Now I can't. Unbelievable. And you guys got to admit, now my mouse just died. And you have to admit, though, this stuff used to happen on SCN like all the time, right? It hasn't happened in quite a bit, right? With the tech stuff. You got to give me credit. And I can't get the stupid thing to work. Hold on. It doesn't happen a lot. It used to happen a lot. I know it. And I charged my mouse. I did all that. And for some reason now, come on. Now the mouse just died, and this is what we're gonna have on the whole time. You got to be kidding me! I can't do a full show like this. I can't even get to my screenshots. This is amazing. Come on, can't get my mouse to work. I literally, this stupid mouse just died. Come on, you fucking mouse, you rat. That's what you're a rat. You're not even a mouse. This is stupid. I got to do a show like this. I'll do a show like this with my stupid face on the entire time, screaming like an asshole. Holy shit. That's dumb. I can't even turn. I wouldn't even be able to turn it off. If I said I wanted to turn off the show, I can't even turn it off. You got to be kidding me. What's going on with this mouse? Come on, there you go. You were working for a second. Come on, mouse. Come back to me. God, you're gonna be kidding me. All right. There we go. Oh, I think no, it's not the batteries. There's no batteries. It's like I wonder if it's going to die again. That's something. All right. Well, I'm going to try. If it happens again, it means I guess I just charged the mouse. All right. Let's try this again, everybody. Let's try to get to the marbles. And this is the first thing. Marvels is tracking lower. than both Black Adam and Flash. Now, that's not great news. From Garth Franklin over Dark Horizons, we know that Marvel Studios' upcoming The Marvels film will perform considerably below its predecessor, but by how much is going to be the big question going into this weekend. Late last month, tracking projections for the team up suggested a 75 to 80 million opening weekend on November 10th, around 50% of the debut of Captain Marvel in 2019. Now, those suggestions are in that it could come in even under that and potentially lower than the underwhelming 71.2 of Eternals back in 2021. According to Deadline, pre-sales for the Marvels are pacing behind that of Black Adam and The Flash, movies that opened to 67 million and 55 million respectively. Part of the problem is that the actors can't promote the film while the strike is ongoing. It could be a lack of interest in the character and marketing material so far, with audience fatigue and apathy toward post-Endgame Marvel films. Reviews for the title have yet to be released for what is the shortest Marvel movie to date. All right, so there's a ton just in that little article, man. There's a ton in the little article. So, I mean, the first part is there's a lot of truth in the fact that not being able to promote is going to hurt. There's no doubt about it, right? And it's the same way that we talked about with Blue Beetle, that promoting with Xolo Maridueña would have been helpful. Would it have made the big difference to propel it into a massive hit? Not in the case of Blue Beetle. I do think it would probably help a little bit more because you've got the three actresses teaming up, doing some viral stuff, being able to go on to talk shows together, doing all these things. I think there would have been a couple more moments. You know, I could even see some of the stuff they would have probably done with Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel, and being able to do so much of that probably would have gotten more people in. Again, making it a major hit, I don't know. I don't think that, I mean, because look, that Variety thing, when it took a lot of casual viewers saw that also. And I do think that there is something to be said, because look, even Loki right now, Loki episode 5 was fantastic. It's one of the best episodes of television for Marvel in quite a while. It was a great science fiction episode in general. I loved it. I don't think a ton of people watched it. At least it didn't seem like there was a ton of people really. I mean, the people who've been watching the show were like, holy crap, that was a great episode. But it didn't have that kind of spark of the conversation. Now, Echo, surprisingly enough, and I mean, and again, let me reiterate, people who watched Loki, who saw Loki, who are raving about it, I'm one of those people to say, like, that was a great episode. You should be watching this show. But it wasn't that same kind of like, whoa, Loki, boom, going everywhere in the way that Echo did, which I can't even imagine me saying that a couple months ago, because I was like, that show isn't even going to make, it might not even make air. And not only is it going to make air, then he said they're going to dump it in January in all the episodes. You're like, okay, so this is probably definitely not good. And then the trailer comes out and it looks like a continuation of the Daredevil and Netflix tone. And you're like, whoa. And everyone's talking about that show. Now, I did see, and I don't disagree with people who say, like, look, you can polish a trailer and make it look really good and exciting. That's not untrue. I mean, look at Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion's trailer and stuff looked pretty damn interesting. That show turned out to be a turd for the most part. Now, the difference to me is that I don't think anybody saw that TVMA thing coming from Echo. No one talked about that. So that was a show, and like, that people were talking about, and already like, look, did you see that? That looks great. That's the kind of thing we've been looking for. So the conversation around that trailer was bigger, in my opinion, than what's going on with Loki, which is a great show, and the Marvels, which no one's talking. No, the only thing people are talking about with the Marvels right now is how disappointing they think it's going to be. I did a poll over the weekend that I think like about 5,000 you guys voted on. And I was curious. And I said, well, what do you guys think? Do you think it'll A, make money, B, break even, or C, lose money? And I want to believe that the people who watch this channel are pretty open-minded. And I don't see a lot of hateful people in here. I see realistic people. And the poll was that they thought it was going to lose money. I happen to think it's going to get right around the break even, maybe lose money. I wouldn't be surprised if it loses a ton of money. I'll be very surprised if it like teeters on that line of right where like what Black Adam did. If they're like, well, there's reports that it made a little bit of money. It's reported it just broke even. We'll never really know. I wouldn't be surprised with that. If it's like this is a like Flash type disaster, then I'd be surprised. I'd be real surprised. And it's not outside the realm of possibility right now when you listen to what's going on with all this. Because I do think that because there's not a lot of excitement around it, and because that is the thing that everyone is talking about when talking about this movie at all, that's gotta drive people away from it. The casual viewers, like, well, what are they saying about it? And like the one movie fan that people hang out with on the, it's like, I'm just talking about outside of this circle, right? And you're out at a party or whatever it is, like, oh, the new Marvel movie's coming out. Hear anything about it? Now, like, all I keep reading about it. Hey Joe, you like movies? What are they saying about it? And it's like it's supposed to be pretty disappointing. I think it's not going to do that well. All right, we'll just wait for it to come on Disney Plus. That's the kind of conversation that's going to be going around, and I think that is what turns that 75 to 72 to 67. But there is also that possibility of, hey, look, this thing is not a bad movie. It's a good movie. Go see it. And it starts, and there's not a lot out at the moment, and people go and check it out. By the way, I see a ton of super chats coming in, and I am going to answer all of them like I always do. What I will do at the end of the show, well, not the end of the show, but after we go through our topics, I will go through all of them. I see a ton of them coming in, and I appreciate it. So do not worry. I will get to all of them. I promise. So I am very curious with what you guys think, and whether you're watching the live chat right now or if you're in the comments. And that's the other thing that I will thank people who are watching this on the replay. What is one of the hesitations I had about live shows also is like, because I really like the interactive back and forth that I have with the viewers on the comment section. And when I go back and forth and I comment as much as I can, to people when they're watching on the pre-tape videos, and I go through and I try to answer as many as possible. And I was like, well, after the live show, does that, because the live chat and people are active in the live chat, does that mean like that less people are going to be commenting, and then it'll be harder for people to find it because the algorithm and all that? And it hasn't been that. People have been watching the show on the pre and putting their comments in, having the conversations for the Monday thing. So the Monday experiment has been a fun thing for me to listen to and pay attention to. So thank you for everybody who's watching this on the replay and putting your comments in. So thanks for that. Make sure you do that. And let me know whether, and again, if you're watching live, watching on the replay, where will this movie land? Is there a possibility that it could really kind of jump past these potential disaster? Could it make a profit? Could it actually make a profit? Because tracking what would be a major surprise is if it's tracking for less than 70 right now, and it winds up making like 85, 90, 100. Then people are going to go, whoa, because you even look at a movie like Five Nights at Freddy, which like completely overtook expectations. And then it dropped dramatically in week 2, but that made sense with Halloween and everything gone. And it doesn't matter. The movie already made its money back hand over fist. But it was a surprising thing. Now, it also had taken that date, because I think Dune was supposed to come out either last week or the week before, whenever it was supposed to come out, around the same time. So Dune would have taken some money out of that too. So they're probably like very excited that Dune never came out at that time. But can the Marvels come back? Can they do something? I don't think so. As I said, I think we're going to get to I think it's going to be closer, as the pre-sales are similar to Black Adam and the Flash, the pre-sales anyway. I would say that this is going to turn into more of a Black Adam situation than it is the Flash. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be more of a Flash situation? Because that is not something Marvel needs right now. But we know if Echo delivers in January, and then realistically Deadpool 3 comes out in July, I believe it's come out in May, but in July, people forget fast. People forget real fast. So even though because they're going to have to take it on the chin if the Marvels is a Flash type disaster, and people are going to go up. There you go, because everyone was talking about. Because I saw Coy, and I'll talk to Coy about it on Friday, and Coy's like, "Oh, it's funny. Everybody's talking about this Marvel article," and then the Loki has a great episode, and now everybody's excited again, and then Echo has a great trailer. Everybody's excited again. Yeah, but it goes up and down. It goes up and down, right? Like that's just how it goes. People will go, "Yep, we're excited," but Echo was a trailer. Loki has a finale, and they got to deliver on the finale. And if the finale episode isn't good, which I don't have any indication it won't be, but if it's not, you go right back into Stinkville. So people's opinions, they love you when they love you, and they kick you when you're down. That's welcome to being a human being. That's just how it is. And they're gonna and look, everybody loves a winner, and everybody loves to watch the winner fall, and then everybody loves a comeback. That's the thing. That's the thing. And that's look, Marvel went from almost selling their entire thing. They sold their whole library, and they were selling it off to Sony. They were selling it off to Fox, and then they were done. They were done. They were in a studio, like a little itty bitty production company, like fighting him from the inside. And then he turned into this juggernaut where nothing could lose. And everyone's like, well, look at Marvel, go, go, go. And then eventually Marvel stinks. No, they don't. No, maybe they do stink. And it's like, what's going to happen if they make the comeback? Oh, they're the best again. It's like any sports team or anything too. It's all possible. But there's also a possibility that people are just over this shit. It's also a possibility. I happen to think that if they can deliver on Echo, they can deliver on Deadpool, and they can keep delivering, and they change. I think they need to change the tone, though. I think the jokey, funny, goofy stuff worked for when it worked, and I think shift. Go away from that now. Go away from that now. I think Loki has proven that, because Loki has some jokes in it here and there, but it's not a comedy show. It's a science fiction show with some serious tones, with some humor in it. But it's not. But it doesn't like it. It doesn't feel bubblegummy ever. And maybe that's episode 2, actually. But I was one of the few people that felt that way. I think Gen V has proven. Gen V is. I guess we can talk about that. Switch into that. Again, I see the super chats coming in. Please do not feel that I'm not going to answer them. If you're brand new to the show and you're like, hey, I put a super chat and he's not doing it. I know some people like do them throughout the show. I do them at the end. But Gen V loved this show. Loved this show. This show was just done really, really well. Really well. There was a couple of times that it was I was like, oh, okay, they're doing shock value to do shock value, but it was so few and far between. I thought it really fit for the entire tone of the show. I think it was a great way to do the shared universe again and play into the stuff that I loved about The Boys. The finale was fantastic, and the finale, essentially, without spoiling anything, will also plays into, oh, now I really got to watch The Boys season 4. And I think if people watch this for the first time and it's the only thing inside of that universe that they've never watched, then I think they'll be inclined to go and watch more of The Boys and go back and watch episode 1 and 2. Season 1 and 2 rather. Yeah, man, it's like it's that type of tone. Now I know I get it with Marvel. You can't do that all the time, and it's very similar to what we talk about with like Star Wars, where Andor, which to me is one of the best written shows and best Star Wars shows in a long time. You can't do that with every single thing, because clearly there's not always the audience wants to shift a little bit too, and that show's not for children. It's not for kids. But you got to have the balance to where Star Wars is. Now, Marvel, depending on what they want to do, and depending on, like, I think Blade should be rated R. I think Blade should be, you go back and make it rated R. Rewrite it to be rated R. Now, with the TV shows, you can go TVMA, but I think when it comes to the movies, they're going to get nervous. And obviously, they're doing Deadpool, and I don't think they would have done, if Deadpool was a property that they had, if Deadpool was a property that Fox hadn't done anything with, didn't make any movies with, minus the crappy version that was in Wolverine Origins. If they had never done that, and then they brought him over now inside the MCU, there's very little shot that we would have gotten the rated R for part 3. But because 1 and 2 were so successful, and 1 and 2 carried over, and it already has this built-in audience, and it set records for rated R, they would have been silly not to. Silly, I tell you, silly. So that, to me, is, the dilemma that they probably put themselves in. But when you look at what Echo's done in the trailer, there's some rated R stuff going in there. You got to set your thing to TVMA. Maybe they do that with more stuff. So I'm very curious to see how it all kind of pans out, how it works. I don't know. But if you haven't watched Gen V, though, you really should check that show out. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. God, I love that show. Really, really great show. All right, before I move on, very excited to tell both you guys, guess what? I know it's Christmas. It's Christmas time coming up. Right around. Isn't it crazy? It's Christmas time. So I got two things for you. The first thing you should do, obviously, is MANSCAPED. And then you got AG1. Both things that are going to be huge and people are going to be thanking you for. So let me give you both AG1 and MANSCAPED. Here you go. For creators out there, that's not it.
It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's a ball trimmer sent from space. Gentlemen, our friends over at Manscaped have been working day and night to bring you a below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with the brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's got the Lawnmower 5.0. This is a next-generation trimmer with interchangeable blade heads for whatever shave your mind can imagine. You got to upgrade your grooming game to the Ultrasphere this year by going to themanscaped.com for 20% and free shipping. Use that code BIGTHING. High tech, low prices. Manscaped. I love Manscaped. You guys know we've been talking about Manscaped forever. Forever. We've been talking about Manscaped. And why wouldn't we be? I use it all of the time. It's great. Look, everyone's talking about AI right now, but to me, I think this is the biggest technological advancement the world has seen in the past decade, hands down. Every guy knows how scary it can be when you're going in for a close shave. You go down there and you're like, oh, here you go. Am I going to be one of those stories on the news? But I don't ever worry about that anymore with Manscaped. You can do whatever you want. Do in the bath. The Weed Whacker 2.0 also features skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in all the delicate holes. I love the nose trim ones. I'm never gonna look like my grandpa with the nose hairs coming out of the thing. I don't have to ever worry about that ever again. Get 20% off and free shipping, but you got to use that code, man. Big thing. Manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with that code Big Thing at Manscaped.com. I can promise you, you've never seen a ball trimmer look like a spaceship before. Get yours today from our folks over at Manscaped. I always get excited when I get a chance to talk about AG1. You guys know, if you've been listening to this show long enough, you know that I've been talking about them. I've been drinking them now for, it's got to be at least 2 years. I started drinking AG1. I think Brett Sheridan told me about it. Said, you can't mess around with this, man. You got to try it. And I did. And it's a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. I've heard so many different people now talking about it since we've been talking about it on this show and how much AG1 has helped them. I talk to you guys, a lot of you guys, when we talk to do my one-on-one sessions that I do with people that go, yeah, I started doing AG1 and I love it. It gives me the energy that I need. Parents, I found new parents love this stuff. But everybody loves it. And not only for me did I replace my multivitamin with AG1 because I was never the multivitamin guy. I would try it. And I was like, everyone's telling me, you got to do multivitamins. You got to do multivitamins. And I can't do that many vitamins. One scoop. I put it in a water bottle. I put it in a zoo cup. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommended AG1 to everybody, my friends, my family, you guys, and it's worked out. It's great. I get energy. I get a pep in my step. I love AG1, and you guys know how long I've been talking about it. People still they'll tweet and they'll X, whatever they X me, and they say, "Hey, AG1, you've been talking about it forever. I'm trying it today," and they never go back. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support that my body needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for a long time now. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. But you have to go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to be working with both AG1 and Manscaped. I've been working with both of them for so long. And like I said, it's Christmas time coming up really, really soon. I'm getting gifts. And I'm getting gifts for both AG1 and Manscaped. And by the way, you help out the show. I can't even explain how much you help out the show when you're able to support and if you have the means to, and you get one of our wonderful sponsors. and it really is great. So hopefully you can do that. All right, let's move on. Again, I see all the super chats. Thank you so much. I am very humbled for all the ones that are coming in, and I appreciate it, and I will get to them. So let me get to the next topic here. We were talking about Marvel for a little bit. Let's shift briefly to DC and James Gunn. He was talking about Creature Commandos and the delay, if there would indeed be a delay. So again, Dark Horizons, the ongoing strike, is causing film delays into 2024 and 2025 as various production shoots are impacted and studio slates get reconceived on a regular basis. One rumor that emerged earlier this week is that the first effort of James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Universe initiative, the animated Creature Commando series, has been delayed. This is despite the fact much of the cast recording sessions for the series were completed well before the actor strike and the show, as well as production ahead of its planned 2024 release. Gunn has now confirmed that the rumors are untrue, with the 7-episode show all set to come out in 2024, to which he adds, there have never been any delays, thank goodness. Any info otherwise is a well-intentioned mistake or misspeaking. He also confirms the dialogue recording is unimpacted by the strikes anyway. Animation isn't part of the SAG contract, but it still doesn't matter as everyone's lines have been recorded for a long time and animation has been going full speed ahead for a while. The series stars Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., the father of Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag from the Suicide Squad. Other members of the team include David Harbour as Eric Frankenstein, Indira Varma as the Bride of Frankenstein, Alan Tudyk as Dr. Vociferous. Oh, wait. Zoe Chow as Nina Mazursky, Sean Gunn as both CGI Robot and Weasel, Maria Bakalova as Princess Alana Rostovak, Steve Agee as John Economics, and Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. The series will premiere on the Max streaming service. Okay. Well, I mean, look, the other side of that is that there's, and I think I'll just kind of jump into this too. Maybe it's over here too. It's another thing about the Brave and the Bold that they said. So I'll just kind of continue this on. The Brave and the Bold, DC Studios reportedly hires 3-time Oscar nominee to write the DCU reboot. While many fans are uncertain about the Flash director Andy Muschietti helming the Brave and the Bold, a new rumor suggests that DC Studios has found a powerhouse writer to pen the reboot's screenplay. Warner Brothers' original idea for the Flash was it to end with Michael Keaton's Batman as a permanent part of the DC EU. He'd have gone to appear in Batgirl and Batman Beyond, likely crossing paths with Ben Affleck's Cape Crusader and Crisis on Infinite Earths. Those future projects have all been scrapped since DC Studios was formed, with the plan now to introduce a new Batman in Andy Muschietti's The Brave and the Bold. That story will revolve around Bruce Wayne training his son Damian as Robin, as expected to adapt elements from Grant Morrison and Frank Whitley's critically acclaimed Batman and Robin, or quietly, excuse me, the comic book series. While Batman's scenes in The Flash were well received, Keaton's more than Affleck, some have questioned whether Muschietti can be trusted with a movie as important to the DCU's future as The Brave and the Bold. James Gunn certainly seems to think so, and now it sounds like he's turned to a top-tier writer to reboot the screenplay. According to the moderators or on Reddit's DCEU leaks, 3-time Oscar-nominated John Logan from Gladiator, The Aviator, good Lord, Hugo, and Skyfall is in talks to write The Brave and the Bold for DC Studios. If that's correct, it's bound to restore some faith in The Brave and the Bold, and Logan also counts the likes of The Last Samurai, Spectre, Alien Covenant, and Penny Dreadful among his many credits. There's no word on who will play Batman. John Krasinski's name has come up. Jensen Ackles is keen to suit up, and that's really kind of it at the moment right now. Okay, so with both of those, that was initially what I was going to say with Gunn's comment of, well, animation isn't as effective. Plus, they did all the lines already, so you would assume they were kind of people that was being worked on. So if they hadn't filmed the dialogue and the lines, then it's going to be in trouble. But it doesn't make sense that would be unless their movies are so far behind that they wanted to link up somehow. That look, it's going to be forever before these freaking things can join up. Maybe we push it. That's one thing, but we still don't know if Superman's going to get pushed back yet. That sounds terrible. It sounds like a fart. It wasn't. It was just vibrating phone. But I think that even if it did, you put it out. You got to have something come out. You gotta have something come out from this new DCU just to show the overall tone. Now, as far as Batman, uh, now I think I really like Andy Muschietti. Now, I will say that I've seen The Flash a few times, and I still I stand by it. I like the movie. I will say that there's no one I'm going to argue with, because every person that I've talked to, that I just talked to someone recently, said, I watched the movie, it's terrible. And I said, what did you really hate about it? I said, the beginning of it, the babies and that bad CGI. I was like, you're not going to get an argument with me out of that. And I said, well, didn't you like the stuff with the mom and this and the Hartfields? Like, yeah. And they said, yeah, that part was great. I love that stuff. It's like everybody seemed to like that emotional story of it. If he can focus on that, and then you get this screenwriter that has done great stuff in the past, and I like It Chapter 1 way more than I like It Chapter 2, but that was this. I think that's the book in general, and I also think that that's the. I mean, even remember like the dated '80s series. The first part was always the scarier one, and the second one is just tougher to do. The stuff with the kids was just better. And I thought he directed It Chapter 1 brilliantly. And it's just what I was talking about before, though. They love you when they love you, and they kick you when you're down, right? And Andy Muschietti right now is down because the movie was a big bomb for as bringing Keaton back and all this stuff, and how hyped, and people were hyping this movie up to it was supposed to be one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, and it tanked, and it lost them a lot of money. So he's down right now. But if, for all the people who are yelling about it, if he comes back and he does a movie that delivers, and you get a great screenwriter, and it's a fantastic introduction to the new Batman inside the DCU, and they play it well, then he's back on top again. That's how this business works. And I think that's what James Gunn realizes also. And not, I think that's what James Gunn realizes also. And he knows, and he trusts in Andy Muschietti's directing ability. So that stuff, that's not going to play with James Gunn. Like, oh, the fans are going nuts, so we can't have Andy Muschietti. He's not going to do that in the way that some other people would. So that's not a concern. Now, making sure, don't give some ridiculous answer of why isn't your CGI good? Well, that was on purpose. Well, that's a bad decision by a director. Then that's a bad decision. So you don't make bad CGI on purpose. It was supposed to look like that because the Flash, whatever the language is of him, how it's supposed to look, and it's like people don't pay attention to that. They pay attention to what the hell they're seeing. Now, and a lot of the CGI look terrible. So that can't be a thing. Now, as far as who Batman goes, I like John Krasinski a lot. Not for this. Jensen Ackles is doing different shit now, man. That guy he's firing on different levels right now. Soldier Boy if you watch The Boys last season, have you just seen anything that he's done as Soldier Boy? He can play in a different type of darkness, and I'd like to see him. Now, Soldier Boy is a very different character than Batman, but pull back. I think this is your guy. I really do think this is your guy. I think he could do some things that this is one of the times that maybe you do listen to what the fans are saying overall. I think he'd be great. I don't know. Again, I throw it to you guys. What do you think? Do you think that, let's start with Batman. Who's your Batman for this one? Is it Jensen Ackles? Is it Krasinski? Is it someone else? Do you think Muschietti should take a hike? Or do you agree with me that, look, if he puts on a great movie, then it's like, okay, I forgive you for the Flash. Because that happens all of the time with things. All of the time. So it is a what have you done for me lately town. And if he can be, or business rather, if he could do that and he could win, could he win you over if you were like so turned off on the Flash? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. And then the Commandos. Is that a surprise to you? Wasn't a surprise to me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm on an island. I don't think I am though. Again, I see the super chat's going to get to him in just a bit. Let's talk about this one, man. Gotta talk about Dune. I am so psyched for Dune Part 2. Now, when I do my list, I'm so dumb. When I did the 2000 and well, maybe not. Maybe it worked out for the best. But when I did my 2023 most anticipated list, I had forgotten Dune Part 2. I forgot it. And people are like, oh, I thought you loved the first one. I said, I did. I forgot it. But look, maybe it was my brain saying it ain't coming out this year, homie. So 2024, it'll be in my list. I can guarantee you that. So let's talk about where did I see this? Oh, is it on Comic Book Movie? I think it's on Comic Book Movie. But Dune, they're doing the actual. There's going to be an actual show. And actually, when I lived on closer, like more in the different part of Hollywood, my next door neighbor was a writer. She's very talented, and she's actually one of the writers on this series now, and I love that. Mark Julian for Comic Book Movie writes, it was recently announced that Denis Villeneuve's prequel and tie-in to Dune TV into Dune, the TV series for Max, is still in development, and now it's going to go by the title Dune Prophecy. The HBO original Dune: The Sisterhood, which will act as a precursor to Denis Villeneuve's 2021 sci-fi epic, it's still in the works. According to the reports, the prequel will concentrate on Bene Gesserit, a Dune world woman only political and spiritual select that undergoes ritual, physical, and mental training to attain superhuman strength and mental powers. The series, which is set 10,000 years before the events of the 1965 novel, follows sisters Valia and Tula Harkonnen as they launch on a campaign to combat overpowering forces that threaten humanity's existence, eventually leading to the founding of the legendary Bene Gesserit sect. The show is taking inspiration from Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson's 2012 prequel, the novel Sisterhood of Dune. First announced on 2019, IGN is now reporting that the show has been retitled to Dune Prophecy, formerly Dune: The Sisterhood. Villeneuve and John Spates were originally slated to direct and write the show's first 2 episodes, but had to depart. So after several creative changes, Alison Scheibker emerged as the sole showrunner on the show. There's casting changes also, yada yada yada. Emily Watson's in it. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few. Olivia Williams. Okay, well, this is a whole bunch of castings. Either way, I am pumped to see the second one. I want this world a lot more. So you get 10,000 years beforehand. Old Republic, anyone? Yes, Lucasfilm, you sons of bitches. So this to me is an interesting Max series that I think is smart to do, especially after you kind of play in the IP a little bit more. It's a way to do that. If you get the right writers, you got to make it feel inside the same tone though too. It's always drives me nuts, and I feel like they will, but it always drives me nuts when it shows like this doesn't even feel like part of it. I don't care if it's 10,000 years before. It doesn't feel like anything even close. The tone's different. It doesn't feel like look at like House of the Dragon to me. Obviously, feels like absolutely part of the Game of Thrones universe. Absolutely, like that kind of thing. And I think that they will. I'm excited for it, and I'm so excited for the movie too. I would. That's a movie that I'm glad got pushed. I'm just glad it did, because that's a movie that it needs promotion. It needs marketing. It really does. And because it's kind of people who saw it loved it. It did good for the first movie, did good enough to kind of warrant a second one, but it's still, it's you got to get people in that theater, man. And it's fine. This comes from someone who didn't even see the first one in the damn theater. And at the time when it came out, I was like, okay, I'm just going to put it on my TV. It's the day in of, and it was right in the pandemic and all that shit was going on. So I'm like, nah, now you couldn't catch me watching this on TV. I will be there. I cannot wait to watch this. IMAX, big screen, whatever it is, the biggest screen. I'm going to go check it out. I can't wait for Dune. I cannot wait as I'm going through all the stuff that if I could do a brief, I mean, because again, this is, I guess, not really fair. But I'm going to look at the releases that are coming out as of right now in 2024, because anything can be pushed, right? So if I'm going to go, let's see, if we're looking, I mean, I don't think there's any big movies because of the strike and everything too. I'm going to start. And if I'm looking right now into January, you got The Beekeeper, right? February, nothing. Lisa Frankenstein, I don't know what that is. Nothing big so far. March 1st is The Fall Guy. Kung Fu Panda 4. Dune Part 2 is March 15th. The Ghostbusters sequel is March 29th. So March is pretty big again. April 12th is Godzilla and Kong. And again, a lot of these things could change after the strike stuff, but I'm just reading what's on there right now. So far, Dune is really, and Ghostbusters if I'm going through my list again, Ghostbusters sequel, I'm excited for, but that could be changed. Godzilla and Kong, sure. Deadpool 3 is definitely up there for me. I don't know what my ex-friend's wedding is. Furiosa, if it still comes out, is up there for me. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is up there for me. And that's all in May. And then June, Ballerina, which is, I guess, was the prequel to John Wick. Inside Out 2, sure. Quiet Place Day 1, maybe. Despicable Me, for Mufasa, The Lion King, Captain America, Brave New World, if that comes out at the same time there. Harold and the Purple Crayon, Alien, the new Alien movie, Craven, Beetlejuice 2, Transformers. I mean, Joker 2 is the one that's up there. Gladiator 2 is up there for me. So there's a lot in there, but again, the list has to be put together as we get closer to, once January is usually when I put together that list. Plus, there's gonna be so many things that are moved, so I don't know. But out of the ones that I mentioned right there, please go ahead and let me know what you are looking forward to. If there's anything obviously that I missed, there's other things in there too. All right, I'm gonna do like one or two more stories and then move into your questions. Again, I see people throwing in the super chats. They don't have to just be, there's another one right now. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be movies. It doesn't have to be TV. It can be whatever you want to talk about also. So if you want to throw some stuff in there, please go ahead and do it. And then for patrons, by the way, too, to let you guys know, I know that there are people who just signed up for the Tuesday UAP stuff. We are doing our first exclusive UAP episode that includes questions from people. So make sure, if that's why you subscribe, that you're part of that. We're also doing other things on Patreon. So yeah, we're going to be way more active on Patreon now. So if you're able to, and then PLD was telling me today, we have these signups for Patreon at the $35 tier. And basically what it is, you get 15 minutes with, it's like a surprise. So you won't know who you get. It could be Mike Kalinowski. It could be Steph. It could be Brett. It could be Kate. It could be anybody. And there's like these 15-minute kind of Zoom sessions with the crew. And then there's the other one that we're almost sold out of. I think there's like 4 spots left of the 30-minute with me. And I do once a month, I do like 30-minute sessions on StreamYard with people. So you can sign up today. The spots are going quick, but it's patreon.com/thebigthingshow. Okay. Let me go and let's do this one, because there's a few other things that are out there. I don't want to do the spoiler stuff. I do want to talk about this Godzilla show, because I know that I just saw something come in the other day about it. But the other thing was, I was going back and forth. Roka and I were texting. He was saying, and we were talking about the stuff that's coming out soon. And I guess he's like, Monarch's coming out. And I said, what the hell is Monarch? I don't know what that is. He said, it's the new Godzilla show. It ties into the legacy and all that. And then I got something from Collider. They're doing like a special screening of it, and it's called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. It's both the Russells, so I'm on board with that. But then it's in the opening sequence of Monarch: Legacy of Monsters on Apple TV. John Goodman's character Bill Randa appears to try to get things going in a big manner by dodging a gigantic spider kaiju. But it seems that in order for it to have Randa for lunch, the spider will have to battle a giant crab, and then there's a big action scene that you can watch. Do you believe that the spider is the show's interpretation of Kumanga, the iconic Godzilla kaiju that debuted in Son of Godzilla in 1967? Yada, yada, yada. Sadly, no. E has confirmed that it's not. It's someone else. Okay. Anyway, so I guess this is just a potential credit, but I guess there's more. There's a big article, and it talked about the world of Godzilla, King of Monsters, so profoundly different from the world of Godzilla in 2014. Monarch goes from being the Men in Black to the helpers everyone looks for when the siren goes off. It's a cool place to tell a story. They said what they set out to do was to make a show in the Monsterverse that wasn't focused on the monsters. That's like the movies. The movies aren't focused on the monsters. What are you talking about? We felt we could compete with the feature films. We felt we couldn't compete with the film, so we shouldn't try. We built a television series. You have to have a cast of characters and set people you want to follow week to week, and if we're lucky, multiple seasons. This is a show about people who have woken up and live in a world where monsters are real. Okay, so I have a different thought on this, though, which you're probably going to be like, well, that's not what you normally say. When it comes to Transformers, when it comes to Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong, because he said that they focus on the monsters. I mean, maybe for the last 20 minutes or like one scene in the middle of the movie, but normally it's about the freaking human characters, and it's like, no, don't do that. But I get why they have to do it on TV, and it makes sense. You got it. The characters that and when you can get the Russells, I mean, come on. But when it's week to week, and it's a series where the show's about these characters that live within this world that was set up, then that makes sense. Doing a full-on Godzilla show every week to week on Apple, besides being extremely expensive, after a while, I'll be like, okay, I get it. Godzilla's just fighting again this week. But when you're watching it for like a 2-hour movie, that's what I want. I want to see the monster. I don't want to see some BS story I don't care about. Again, if they set up this world inside of this Apple show and it spins off in the way that, the Marvel universe is doing, and they play where you don't have to necessarily watch it, but you're like, oh, that's that character from the show, and it plays into the Kong movie. Great. I'm excited to watch it. I'm curious to watch it. I'll see it and see. I mean, I really like, Kurt Russell and his son, and I want to see if it's any good. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm curious. What do you guys think? Is this something they should have done? It's probably not a bad idea, right? Why not try to capitalize it? It's one of those IPs that they have it. They should try to do it. All right, I'm going to take your questions now. And before I do that, I do want to make sure that I tell you guys. I mean, I know that I told you guys I'm going to do my video about, I'm going to do a video soon. I just have to write it, but I want to do a video basically of how to start a YouTube channel in the movie space, and how to, and what any experience I could lend and help people and those types of things. And one of those things I was able to do is through the sponsorships I learned about KAJABI, and I have told you guys about them before, but I think it's very helpful in general, and I want to get you guys talking about them. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about is Rocket Money, but we'll tell you about both of them right now. For creators out there, a lot of different creators out there, and I want to tell you guys about KAJABI. I want to tell you about them right now. I'm excited to tell you about them because if you didn't know, I think, look, I've been doing this creator thing for a long time. And what everybody strives to do is you want to be able to make enough to earn a living doing what you love. So KAJABI makes it easy, actually, to diversify your revenue. You can build your own brand. You can turn your audience into customers. Now, with the disruption of revenue streams from algorithm updates and product changes, if you're a creator and you don't use KAJABI to diversify your income beyond ad revenue and brand deals, you're leaving money on the table. And this is very true. Look, I told you, I'm planning on making a move. This is like this is my family, man. I'm everything. So this is something great. Earning a living directly from your audience is one of the most sustainable ways for creators to build a business. And you don't need a huge following to do it on KAJABI. You just don't. Creators and entrepreneurs value full ownership and control over their brand. With KAJABI, you have 100% autonomy with free customizable templates that you can make on your own, even if you're not tech savvy, and you keep what you earn. You don't have a huge audience, doesn't matter. You don't need it to make a sustainable income. There are thousands of creators on KAJABI making 6 and 7 figures with less than 50,000 followers. Try KAJABI and join the creators and entrepreneurs who have earned over $6 billion. Right now, KAJABI is offering a 30-day free trial to start your own business if you go to kajabi.com/bigthing. KAJABI.com/bigthing. Go to kajabi.com/bigthing and earn more doing what you love. I keep telling you guys about Rocket Money. I love Rocket Money. And if you're not familiar with what it is, I started using them a long time ago. They were under a different name at the time, but now they're Rocket Money. And basically what it is everybody signs up to those things like, hey, try this for 30 days, and then it's free, and then you'll be paying for the rest of your life and not even realize that you're paying for it. And that happens to us. We get subscriptions, we forget about them, and then you pay twice sometimes. You don't even realize it. Rocket Money, for me, it canceled subscriptions for me. It said, hey, listen, these are all the things that you signed up for, dopey. It didn't call me dopey. I call myself dopey. But they said, hey, listen, you signed up for this, and you shouldn't if you don't want to, so let us cancel for you. And that's exactly what they did. And it lets me know about subscription prices of all the streaming stuff. And now with all the strikes, as they're coming to an end and there's new deals that are being made, the streaming prices are going up. And they say, hey, there's an increase to all these things. Be wary of it. It tells you how much you're spending per month. It tells you all these different things. It tells you your credit score. It tells you everything. And it's been so helpful to me. It's a personal finance app. It helps, it finds, it cancels unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills in one place. It has over 5 million users, and it keeps going up.
Rocket Money has helped save its customers an average of $720 a year and $1 billion in total savings so far. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Manage your money the easy way. Go to rocketmoney.com/thing. rocketmoney.com/thing. One more time. rocketmoney.com/thing.
Clearly, I got to change that tag. It's ROCKET, rocketmoney.com/thing. And thank you to both Rocket Money and KAJABI. Very excited for all the wonderful sponsors that we've been able to get. So again, guys, if you're able to, you have the means to, please consider it. Help out the show. I put all the links in the description and I pin it as a top comment. All right. I want to also thank you guys for everybody who's putting in these questions. I saw a bunch of them coming in. I'm going to start with the first one here, and that is Connor Dorian. I'm going to have to put these old man glasses on because I can't see shit. Connor Dorian, what did you think about the Gen V season 1 finale? So I touched on it briefly. I really enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the acting was on point. I was just intrigued with the story. I was really on board with the story. I thought it was phenomenal writing. I thought it was a good continuation inside of that world, in the same way, making it different. It was like the school, the X-Men school, but the warped boys way. And so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So I cannot wait to see where it goes and how it ties into everything else. So thank you for that. Jimmy Lopez coming in hot. Jimmy says, hey, Kristian, greetings from Roswell, New Mexico. Uh-oh. First time I'm able to catch a live episode. Thanks, man. Love the show, and thanks for all the entertainment at work. Well, thank you, Jimmy. Would you ever see anything weird out there? I want to know. I'm sure you get that all the time, and it's annoying. I really appreciate it. That was just like a very supportive chat there, and I'm glad you were able to see it live. So thank you for the very kind words, and I appreciate you doing that. Very familiar face here, Mike Joyce. How do the Giants have 2 wins? Who knows? Do you think they should move on from Daniel Jones? Yeah, I think so. At least you have the Jets. Yeah, I think we're going to wind up, Ellis and I were just texting. They're going to get the first pick in the draft, and they're going to wind up taking the kid from USC. How do they have 2 wins? The only reason I can tell you they have one of those wins is because Ellis was over, and my buddy Tom Connolly and I, we used to watch games together all the time. Tom's moving out of town. It's like our last time we're going to be watching it. So I think they gave the old man one more win. So Ellis was okay with that. Gallegos, dude, you're the best. Question: AMC's mystery screening is tonight, and the rumor it is The Marvels. If true, you think it is an attempt to up the box office this weekend with getting folks in who said no, knowing it's Marvels? I think that it's more of a marketing ploy. So, I mean, the answer, I guess, to your question is yes. They're going to try to attempt to up the box office. By how much from one screening or a couple screenings, who knows? But the idea is to try to get word of mouth out there. And because they can't market it at all with their actors, they're going to try to do whatever they can. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I don't know how much that would potentially help. I don't know. And Galgos continues it over with, I got tickets for IMAX Marvels and I'm rooting for it. I mean, yeah, look, that's what we talked about the other day. It's like, if you're a movie fan, you should be rooting for all movies. I mean, it's kind of how it goes. But you also want movies to be good, and you can't, it's like, oh, everybody should see this. If it stinks, if it stinks, then you shouldn't see it. Again, I don't know if it stinks. I hope it's good. As I was mentioned before, I want to see I was rooting for the up. I don't like when people fall down. I like when they stay up, as long as they're giving us good stuff. But it's just human nature. We like to watch people fall down. But I am in the camp that I like to see a comeback. I just don't know if the comeback's going to start with the Marvels. But we'll see. We'll see. Mild Manic Comic Nerd, what's up, man? Hey, Kristian, hopes all is well. Do you think the runtime of the Marvels is bad? I think it's a good runtime. Thanks again. I do think it's bad. I think that there's probably the reason why you go, I think it's good because it's a shorter movie and I can watch it. I can get the hell out of the theater, and it's good that it's a short time. Yeah, but when it's the shortest time and we're trying to establish some stuff going into another phase, and you're only at 144 because you're trying to do that turnaround to get people in the theater quick, put them in there a couple times so we get more screenings of this thing so we make more money. It's like it's a quiet fart in an elevator after somebody's been eating beans. At least that's the way that I look at it, but it may be not. Maybe it's the 144 of, look, it's short, sweet. We're telling the story we need to get done. I just don't know how much they can establish in the big budget blockbuster movies at a $250 million budget at 144 means it's going to be more spectacle than story, potentially. So yeah, it does make me nervous. Purple Funk, what up, man? Hey, Kristian, should we be worried that the actor strike hasn't been wrapped and we're into November? Really hoping the Loki finale is great. I hope the Loki finale is great. If there's any indication, if it's anything like the last episode, I think we're going to be in for a great episode. And I love that we got 6 episodes to tell their story. Boom, 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 out. If this finale delivers, I believe that it will. As far as the strike goes, the answer is yeah. It sucks that it's going into November already. The worry should come in after today. If SAG says we looked at the deal, the final deal, and it ain't doing it for us, then be worried. Then it's going into 2024, and then we got problems. So I would say hold your worry until you find out the next update today, which you probably will get today. I'm sure SAG's going to send out the information and say, look, we looked at the deal. And this is what we said. We're either going to get the deal of it's over. We're ready to get going. We're going to accept this deal, or it's no, we just can't accept this. And then they're not. Then you should be worried because they're not going to figure it out until 2024. There's no way. At least I don't think. Okay, so thank you for that. Again, I appreciate it. Again, everybody, like I said, I'm going through all the super chats. I'm going to take all of them. And as I'm going through, I'm not turning them off or saying you can't submit them. So if you want to put them in there and do that while I'm going through, I'll stay on for as long as you want me on. Smokey Vandross, Pizza and Ranch. What's your view on it? You should hit the Pizza Expo next year. You would be in slice heaven. I would love to do that. So my Pizza and Ranch, when it's gourmet, kind of like if I go to California Pizza Kitchen, or if there's like, the BS, if for God, some reason I got to eat, like if someone's got Domino's sitting around or Papa John's, then I will. The crust maybe, but I never will do like a traditional slice with ranch. But there are times that I just did it. Like my wife had ordered California Pizza Kitchen. I had the barbecue chicken pizza and I put that in ranch. Then it was delicious. But yeah, normally no. As far as the expo, I'd love to. Absolutely love to. Thank you again for that. Mike Joyce, should SAG just take the current offer and then go on strike again when the contract is up? No, because they got to take the right offer, right? And it's like, it's not strike again because the thing is, if they take this deal and they're just going to go on strike again in 3 years to get that one or 2 points, because we don't know what the points are. We don't know what it is that they've negotiated on and what they've actually said they will or will not do. And any negotiation, you're never going to get exactly what you want. You'll probably get some better. You'll probably get some worse. But there's things that's what negotiation is. You're going to go, okay, look, we're hoping we're going to get this, but I'll settle if we get this. And that's got to be a thing. It can't be. And I'm sure it isn't. It can't be like we want this, and no matter what this is, we're not going to break on anything. We just got to get this, and that's it. And that's just never going to work in any negotiation. You got to say, there are points that you can say there's no way we're going to go past this point. Like, we've all been there. Like, look, I want this. I'd settle for this, but I ain't going below this. And that's what any negotiation is. And I think that's what they're going to do here today. I have been wrong every time that I have said. I thought it was going to be over by Friday. I thought it was going to be over last week. I'm just wrong predicting. So even if I said I think it'll be over today, and then it is over today, my predictions suck when it comes to this thing. So don't listen to me. But I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the deal is that they presented, the final offer. I will say this though: if they don't take this deal today, then we're going into 2024. That they're not going back to the table after this. If they're gonna say, okay, well then we just got to. They're going to change, like the summer movie season will completely revamp all those movies I just mentioned. Those movies, a lot of those will not be in 2024. 2025 will then become extremely stacked. So yeah, there's going to be a lot that changes for sure. A lot that changes. The TV season will change, but they're able to get things on TV faster. But still, yeah, that'll be a big a big move if they don't. So we'll find out soon, and I'm sure people will let me know if anything's happened in the comment section. Please let me know. Jimmy Lopez, my favorite story in all of Star Wars is the Bane trilogy. I like what you're doing there, especially the end of that first book. It's so damn good. I hope we get it in live action. Don't count on it with current leadership. I think. I just don't think that, and I don't even know if counted it with Disney, but it would be great if they did something like the as I was mentioned with the Andor stuff. If you put that kind of tone in Darth Bane, or something along the lines of if they took a shot with a more, maybe not TVMA, because I don't think they'll ever go there, but something like that with like we're just doing a full. They'll never do it for a movie. It's just too risky for a movie for them to wear. And I kind of get it, unless you're going to do a very smaller budget Sith led film. It's hard. There's very big blockbuster movies. I can't think of many with the villains leading. You get anti-heroes like Deadpool and stuff too, but villains leading, I don't know. Put some in the suggestions in the comments of which ones you can think of. Big budget ones, not movies. I know there's movies that bad guys lead, but the big budget movies. So it would make more sense to do it on Disney Plus. I would love for them to do it. It's the thing that if someone asked me recently, like if someone say, okay, look, you have an unlimited budget, you can make any Star Wars thing that you want. What would you do? I'd make a Bane trilogy. I'd make a bunch of seasons out of the Bane trilogy for sure. Let's see. Did I just do that one? No, I did not. This is a great question. I just had this conversation with my wife, by the way. Okay. Smokey Vandross, great name, by the way. When do you put up Christmas trees? It's my first year celebrating. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I'm excited to put one up. It depends, man. I mean, look, I usually put it up after Thanksgiving. We usually go on like December 1st, and we usually put it up and then probably like the first week after New Year's, we usually take it down. But yeah, it's usually December 1st for me, because I saw something recently. It goes that it was, I can't remember where it was. It was a friend of mine who posted on Instagram, but it was basically a turkey sitting on top of Santa going, wait your turn, fat face. And everybody jumps into Christmas season right away because they eat all the food and then they go into Christmas season. But I want to concentrate on Thanksgiving, and then the tree comes on December 1st. So that's my suggestion. But some people do it 2 weeks before, and maybe even before that. So it's really up to you, to be completely honest with you. You're zoning in on the holiday season, so you could probably do it whenever you want. Okay, there's another big one here by Simon. Simon, thank you. Did you see the trailer for The Fall Guy? If this movie is successful, do you see a rejuvenation of the action 80s movies? I call Charlie Cox to play Street Hawk, the not Knight Rider on a motorcycle schmoes TV show knows. Thank you. So I did not see the trailer. I saw some people doing reactions to it. People were hyped up about it. And I like The Fall Guy too, and I like Ryan Gosling, but I didn't go out of my way to watch it. It's like, if I'm in a movie and they show the trailer for it, I'll be excited to see it. I'm gonna see the movie when it comes out. And I'll probably maybe I stumble upon the trailer and see. So there's always that possibility of the studios trying to catch on a trend because something else did good. So I could say that there's a possibility that would be the case. Like, oh, well, this did well. How about this? I know they revitalized Knight Rider actually as a TV show, but did they ever do the movie? And if they did it's not anything that was memorable. I don't remember. I know there's Starsky and Hutch. They did a few other things, but I wonder, and that was more 70s, but I wonder if they would do Knight Rider over and make it actually cool. That would be interesting. They did A-Team. I know they did A-Team. So I don't know. I wonder if they would do A-Team again. They wouldn't be able to do it with the same cast, but I wonder if they would do it again. Oh, I did that one. Okay. So Simon, again, thank you for that very generous super chat. Thank you to everybody who's putting in these super chats. They're all generous and I really appreciate it. Christopher Scott. Hey, Christian, do you think we're going to see a sequel to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings? I mean, it would make sense that they would do that. And the movie did pretty well and they set him up. I mean, the end of it sets up. It was the only one that seemed like to set up any phases, and the guy's been non-existent. been anywhere. No TV shows, nothing. Hasn't been anywhere. So I would assume they're going to do another one. It was one of the few that was pretty damn successful, and it was like the first movie that was coming out of the pandemic too, and it did pretty damn good. So yeah, I think you'll get another one. I don't know when, but I think you'll get another one. Maybe they're going to do a total new plan. I don't know, but I think you'll see him again. You should see him again. I don't know why you wouldn't, but yeah, you should definitely see a sequel. Okay. Keeping going. Thank you guys again for everybody who's been putting these in there. Got another one coming up here in a moment, and this one is from Wayne Denny. What's up, Wayne? Marvel's is trending for 6.6 in Thursday's previews. That equals a rough $50 million weekend. Whoa. Well, that doesn't count the pre-sales, does it? Or that does also does that count the pre-sales? In between Flash 55 and Morbius 39 million territory. What's the fallout if this is true? Are the Marvels out of the MCU? Are the Marvels out of the MCU? No, I don't think so. At least I think Kamala will be in, or Kamala rather, would still be in. And Rambo, I think, still be in. Brie Larson? No. I don't know. She in that book that seemed like she was kind of over it. I think if it's a box office disappointment, she'll probably be asked to be let out of her contract. I could see her moving on. For sure. But I think that the other two actresses will continue to be in, but maybe not get another movie. I think showing up in other films and other TV shows and things too. But 50 million, that would be devastating. 50 million would be devastating on a $250 million budget. That would be devastating. 50 million. That's a terrible number. That's a terrible number. They're going to be in big trouble. In big trouble if that's the case. But yeah, I wonder if that counts all the other pre-sales that they already said too. Maybe that 50 that you said plus the pre-sales leading into, maybe that's what tacks into that 75, 80. I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah, that would be brutal. That'd be brutal. Alex Tornay. Hey, Kristian, thoughts on the Sicario 3 news? I didn't hear that news. The original is in my top 5 movies of the 2010s, and I like that Macquarie's involved. That said, would you prefer a third movie or a 6 to 8 episode series? I think a series would be great, but why not both on that one? I'd like to see a third movie. I'm with you. The first movie was great. Second one was okay. I'd like to see. I don't think Deacon shot the second one, did he? I know he shot the first one. I would love to see a third movie, and I would probably and it also, one of the reasons I'd like to see it is because it made me rewatch the other two again. I'd like to revisit it. The first one's fantastic. I haven't seen it in quite a while, but the first one's fantastic. Thank you again for that. It was really great. I didn't know that news, so that's great to know. Also, that Sicario 3 is coming out and that Macquarie's doing it. Yeah, I'm gonna look more into that. Thank you for that knowledge. That's cool. What's up? Did you watch the new Godzilla -1 trailer? Wow, I didn't, and I think the movie's coming out soon, like next week. So I'm probably at this point. I don't even know. I saw one trailer that I liked a lot, so I'm just gonna try to find the movie itself and see. And that's one of that movie, Ed, to me is one of those ones, and I know that a lot of times it's hard. I mean, I say this, so don't hold me to it because I don't know if I can promise this because it's tough. But if I can't get a screening to that movie, I'm gonna try to get there on like maybe just I could take a day off from shooting and go and try to watch that movie. But I probably won't do it. But I'm gonna try. But I do really want to see it. But no, I didn't see the trailer yet. Oh shoot, guys, you guys are still putting these in. Thank you. Simon Section, apologies if I left you feeling flustered or uncomfortable with that Creed 4 vs. Rocky up-to-date analogy. With all these world tensions, I couldn't pick a 5th generation. No need for speed. Don't think. It's all good, man. That's all. You're all good. I appreciate it again. And look, this is one of the things that I do, why I like to connect with you guys at least once a week through the lives, because I see so many of you in the comment section. And Simon, obviously I see you all the time over there too. And I see so many people that I like to, when I'm doing live, that people can come in and spend, an hour and a half out of their day to do this with me and doing it live and to have these conversations. So, and I know that sometimes things don't come off through text or, texting or writing that you mean them to come out in the way that you would say in conversation. Chris Hunt, Tom DeLonge's Monsters of California isn't great. It's got a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has government UAP knowledge baked into the plot. Okay. I don't really know that one either, but I'll have to look into that. That's good to know. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of coming out for the UAP stuff this week where people are going to be getting replaced. There's some news. I saw James Fox's recent tweets. A lot of stuff going down. Wicked Art, the great Wicked Art. Hey, Kristian, hope you had a great weekend. I'm just working on a Captain America and Wolverine art commission, and I'm so hyped for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, that's great, dude. You got a Captain America Wolverine art commission. That's good for you. Wicked Art is extremely talented. He does when you see the Capes and Cowls opening and the Sith Council opening, he did both of those, and he actually did the whole Capes and Cowls comic book. He has a hard copy of it. I got to get a hard copy of it. And it's one of the things in Patreon that we're giving away like signed copies of it. It's so good. I am very hyped for Planet of the Apes or the New Kingdom of the Apes. I am hyped for that movie. I think that the trailer did it justice. It's a good continuation on the series. That's going to be in my top 10 anticipated for sure. Apes on Horses. Ethan Henderson. I don't think it will. But if Deadpool 3 bombs, what do you think Marvel will do? If Deadpool 3 bombs, it's going to be on life support. It's going to be on life support. If it bombs, it's going to be on life support. It won't bomb. It's not going to bomb. It's going to be one of their biggest movies in a long time, and it has a potential to make $1 billion. I think it's going to be a massive film, massive. But if it bombs, as you're saying, yeah, that's trouble. That's a we need to have a meeting, guys, because I don't know if we can keep doing this the way that we're doing it anyway. And maybe we scrap the multiverse stuff and all that stuff and just end it because no one cares anymore. But it's not going to bomb. But yeah, it'll be in serious trouble if it does. This one, I think they're kind of, the Marvels are kind of bracing themselves for a disappointment. But Deadpool, I think they know is going to do well. Pete Parker, 2288. Hey, Kristian, I've asked, but is there somewhere to watch old schmoes reviews? I used to love to go back and forth and watch them, the best and worst. Yes. So the answer to that question is, and this is actually, I don't know if I've actually gone fully public with this. I might have mentioned it in passing, but if you go to the Schmodown channel now, the Schmodown channel has the majority of all the old Schmodown matches on it, all the Schmodown stuff. And for a while, it was just on the archive channel because that was the old Schmodown channel. It was the old Schmoes No channel. So I talked to Ellis about it, and it looks like we're gonna make, and I don't want to give you a when because it really is me. I'm like kind of like a one-man band doing this stuff, so I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. But when I do, the goal is that I'm gonna make a lot. I'd say at least 90% of the old Schmoes reviews public again. The Schmoes No live shows are just exclusive for patrons, but the Schmoes No reviews themselves will start to go back up. Well, I'm going to try to do as much as I can this year, but realistically, it's going to be like throughout 2024. It takes a long time. But thank you for asking that. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Keep going. Is that it? I think that's it. Guys. It was the last one. Amazing. Okay. Oh, I think we did it, guys. We did it. All right. So yeah, so someone just put this one in there. Almost at 100K subs. We are almost there. As I look right now, we are currently at 98,711. So we are getting very, very close. And it's one of those things that like, I made the decision to kind of like take things off of that Schmodown channel, make my own channel, do my own thing. Really only been putting content up on this channel full time for just around 2 years now. Just around 2 years. So we hit around 100K because I think when I took over, it was like an archive channel for like Schmodown stuff and other things. And we were about like 7,000 or 8,000 on that channel by the time I took it over. So took the channel over. I'm very excited that we're able to do what we're doing here and continue on. And I'm going to be trying new things and bringing in, as many new people as I can and keeping with the old faithful. And you guys who have stuck with me, thank you so much. I'm hoping, and my goal is that within the next week that we hit it, because it'll be a nice milestone for everybody who works on this channel with me, and that's it. So again, thank you guys. Yeah, we're doing. I'll be doing some of the out of theater reactions. I'm doing an out of the theater reaction for the Marvels tomorrow night. Tomorrow, the schedule in general for this week, if I can roughly kind of try to guess what it was. I was thinking about it this morning. Today's the show, obviously. If there's any trailer reactions or anything that come out, but probably not. Tuesday, I'll probably do a video for the SAG thing if it ends today. I'll probably put a SAG video out if it ends. If not, then no. Tomorrow will be the UAP show with Riley and myself. Tomorrow night will be the Marvels out of the theater reaction. Wednesday in the morning will be the non-spoiler review of the Marvels, followed by an episode with myself and Mike Kalinowski, talking about a bunch of different things. And then Thursday will be an episode with myself, Jen Sturger, and Brett Sheridan. Friday's Capes and Cowls. Oh wait, excuse me. Thursday night is the immediate reaction to the Loki, and then I'll do a spoiler review and then a spoiler discussion with Winston and Coy. And then the spoiler review for the Marvels will probably come out either Friday night or Saturday morning. So it's a stacked week this week. Stacked week. But that's it. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining us again. And if you are able to, be there for the show, man. We're going to be live at Flappers Comedy Club. You can get tickets. I'm going to put the link in the description, all that and more. Thanks for joining us here today on the show, guys. I really, really appreciate you. I love that the fact that you joined me today live, and the fact you've been joining me live makes me say, hey, I'll keep doing live on Mondays as long as I can. So thank you. Appreciate you. Apple, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are found. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye.